So welcome back, Devin and Niall. This is part of our continued theme about looking at the IATF Auditor Guide, the competency about the process approach incorporating risk-based thinking, and again, focusing on performance, which is one of the key competencies under the process approach. Now, today we're specifically going to look at the requirement in the Auditor Guide where we incorporate within our process-based audit the organization's lean manufacturing programs or continual improvement initiatives in support of the quality policy and the quality objectives. So, Devin, I think in a lot of companies, there's maybe a disconnect between what they call their lean manufacturing program and their quality management system. What's your view on that, and how should we take that into account when we're doing our audits?
Yes, you are correct. A lot of organizations are structured with, they have two separate parts, right? You have your lean manufacturing part, your QMS. However, it is IATF 6949 goal that combines into the quality management system. All these activities that are helping improve the processes within the system need to be updated in the quality management system.
Right, okay, rather than run as a bit on the side. Yeah. So now from a practical approach then, how would we maybe do this? If we see within the organization that there is a continual improvement group, lean manufacturing group, whatever you want to call it, and there's a group that are overall responsible for managing the quality management system, how are we going to audit this interaction?
It's an important part of an organisation. It's interesting, many organisations embrace these opportunities that are kind of a lean approach to engaging the workforce in coming up with better ways of doing things. That's a wonderful approach for an organisation to take, to use its people to try and improve its processes and the way they work. And you're right to suggest there's always a risk here that suddenly things change, but don't go through the proper processes. So it might be around a sort of change to the way a job is set up, or jigs and fixtures to make life easier. They're great ideas and we should encourage them, but it's important that they are managed through the organisation's QMS so that changes aren't made that haven't been validated, for example, or approved in the normal way.
Right, okay. So let's explore that, Devin, a little bit more then. To say as part of the lean program then, they're trying to take out waste and they do a time and motion study and they find maybe that they're going to have to relay out a manufacturing area to reduce the amount of motion. Maybe in that situation, if the auditor sees that there has been this time and motion study, there's been changes in layout, what type of quality management system documentation then might the auditor want to look for?
One would be notification to the customer.
Right, if we're making layout changes, they probably want to know.
Two, you're going to look at any control plan, FMEA document that needs to be updated, as well as the work instructions to the actual person doing the task.
Because I guess we might be combining tasks where it was done by two people and we've taken waste out, it's been produced by one. That may be a work instruction change. No, some great points there. Niall, anything to add on that, about where we see real examples of change?
As I say, for me, the key thing is we want organisations to embrace these changes and not to just kind of leave things as they are, but to do it in a structured way using the quality management system to support any changes to ways of working, for example.
So, in the standard, it talks a lot about process interaction. I guess what we're trying to audit here is the interaction between the group of people that have been tasked with taking out waste from processes versus the interaction with the quality management system.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think that is the source of many problems in some organizations, that there is a disconnect that we should encourage, whether it be an internal audit or a third-party audit, to audit those interactions. How do we think that would then fit within IATF now, in terms of requirements? What types of requirements do we think might link to this sort of lean manufacturing stuff?
There's a few. There's obviously all the change requirements that we see across the standard, but also the continual improvement. We've talked about the goals of the IATF standard, one of them being continuous improvement. And there's a section in section 9 around continual improvement. So there is an expectation that organisations are doing this. We just need to make sure it's being done in accordance with the organisation's processes, rather than a kind of fast track.
Quick wins. And I think it's important that auditors, we don't discourage this because it fits with the goal of IATF, but what we're trying to do is saying, is it being effectively managed from the customer perspective, but also from the internal perspective?
And it has the employee engagement element as well. It's a great way of listening to people, engaging people, using an organisation's people to bring about changes to that organisation to keep them
very important
moving
to the
forward.
culture, right?
Really
Employee
important.
motivation. And whether it's suggestion schemes, Kaizen schemes, quality circles, I think they all fit perfectly within this.
And we don't want to kind of say, well, you can't ever do anything because the quality management is set in stone. We want an element of sort of fluidity almost in it, but in a controlled way.
And we'll be exploring this in a practical sense in the video that you'll see next week. But I certainly think the key message coming from Devin and Niall here is, let's not discourage continual improvement, but as auditors, we have the responsibility to make sure that continual improvement, whether it be through a lean initiative or any other initiative, is not being done as a standalone, but it's been done integrated within the framework of the quality management system. And Devin gave some great examples about maybe we need to get customer approval for layout changes. Maybe we need to review the FMEA, the control plan, the standardized work, before we implement the changes. It shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be integrated in to the overall change management process. So thank you again, Devin and Niall, for your input.